What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. In today's video, we're doing a proper account takeover for Blumpkin here, level 83. It's actually a pretty old account, but he's taken a multi-year break and he's just returned back to raid recently. So he's basically looking for help in every area in the game. We're going to do a little mini series here on Blumpkin's account so you guys can follow along if you guys are interested to check out the work that's done on his account for him. First things first, if you enjoy the content, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button for more future content. And if you guys are looking for any kind of takeover service, make sure you guys hit up my Discord in the description below. I do one free takeover per month, and I also offer paid service as well. Just hit me up in the DMs. With that being said, let's take a quick look at Blumpkin's account here. I will preface that he is a bit of a spender, although not super efficient spender, but he did spend quite a bit of money in the beginning of the game. He mentioned he does not touch Minotaur, so we kind of know the level of spending that's happening right now. We can check out his roster here in a second, but you can kind of tell that he's not super active in the game, right? His account is from 2020, and he's only level 83 with an account player power of 5.6 million. And check out his Great Hall here, not very progressed at all, only 13 battles here, and it's halfway through the week. And honestly, I did 5 battles myself on this account. So yeah, basically inactive in the arena. He's got a bit of shards here, not too much mystery shards. Now this is from farming campaign, right? You don't get any of these in too many other ways. Farming campaign or buying them from the market, you can kind of see he doesn't have many, which means he doesn't do either. He has some ancient shards, void shards, promise shards, and 24 sacred shards saved up. Now this account might look familiar to you guys. We did make him a 1-key Ultra Nightmare team from basically spare parts. And we'll check out the team here for you guys. I did make him a Demitha team, and looks like it is running beautifully. 97 million here for a 1-key Ultra Nightmare team. So that's perfect. At least that enables him to farm up shards and books without having to spend any money. So that's great. And trust me, it was built on spare parts. But we're back on his account, and we have a free gear removal cost event right now for 4 days. So I'm going to be doing some big reworks on this guy's account. So first things first, check out this guy's 4 million silver. That is absolutely nothing in this game. We're going to have to find some silver. Let's have a quick look at his forge. Any silver here? Is it possible? He's got 8,000 Magi steel, but he's got nothing. Well, he's got some stuff. He's got resilience and perception gear that we can craft up. So definitely some silver to be had here, guys. So for Blumpkin's account, I think first things first, he's probably going to have to look towards crafting the resilience and perception gear just to, first of all, get the silver back from them. Second of all, to get the gear pieces that he can get from them. So hopefully he can get some quality pieces. He does have some charms here, which gives him a better chance of getting something more useful. So we can look into doing that as well. Let's jump into his gear stash first. So first, before we do any kind of gear rework or account rework, you want to make sure that all your gear is ready to go, properly leveled up, so that when you make the builds, you don't have to remake the builds over and over again. Then you have a proper stock of what you actually have. But first, maybe we'll check out his account roster first. So these are his champions, I guess his main champions that he uses on his account. So he has Mikage, he has pulled Lazorius, he has pulled Nice, which is super nice, and of course Toshiro here. He has a +1 Rhodos, he has a +1 Otherion. Fabian, looks like he's got Fabian, he's got Armand, he's got Thor, Theodore, Arbiter. So he's got a good mix of PvE and PvP champions, which is great to see, because he's going to want to redo a lot of these for different areas of the game. Let's check out his vaults here. Yeah, lots of Legos. So he got some Legos. He got some +2 Freya here. I think Freya's going to be useful. I'm going to move her into the collection. I'm just going to look for champions that might be useful, like even Ursuga. Maybe Alice could be useful. Necrit definitely can be. All right, so I'm going to set up all the champions that we're going to want to move over and rebuild, whether it be for PvP or PvE. So I'm just identifying the champions that potentially have some use in those areas. So Artak here, a couple of these champions. Obviously, he's separated them for whatever reason, but we're just going to pull them back out just because it's easier to build them out. Let's have a quick look here. What else does he have? He has epics too, which is really nice. I mean, +4 epics here. Hopefully his faction guardians is filled out. I think this geomancer is clan boss. I'm not too sure. Just gotta double check if he has another one. All right, let's see. Wow, he's got another Freya. So he has a +2 Freya plus another 50 Freya. Holy cow. How many Freyas does this guy have? Holy cow. Okay, I mean, out of the 50s, I would say none of them are really super 60. I mean, he has another Ethereon too. Wow. He has a He-Man. He-Man could be really good for arena purposes, but a bunch of 50s. Yeah, I mean, 50s with empowerment's not really too worth it. Just identifying what other champions you could use. The Ugo, I mean, Ugo is definitely usable for Hydra purposes. I mean, there's lots. He has lots here. He has lots of stuff here. He probably doesn't have the gear for everybody, but let's see what we can do here. All right, so we identified the champions in his roster that could maybe help him out in various areas of the game. Let's quickly check out what kind of gear he's looking at. He has 1,350 pieces. He's still packing 5-star blue pieces. Yeah, so not ideal. I mean, it definitely can cleanse off some of these pieces, like Days Set, Frost Set. At this point, you probably just need some silver. Luckily, we do have a free removal day, so accessories, pretty thin on accessories, to be honest. Like, you usually don't see accessories this thin. And a lot of them are not rolled up, which is a big problem, especially with low silver. So you can't really sell these. Can't really sell all of them for silver. So we'll probably target the gear pieces here and see what we can sell. And then we'll move on from there. All right, let's do a proper gear cleanse on this guy. So first things first, I will set priority to speed, and we will separate each piece by each set, sorry. So the fastest pieces will be near the top, and then the slowest pieces will be near the bottom. Any piece that probably doesn't have speed is probably good to go. Yep, some of these pieces are probably good to go if they don't have any speed, but it looks like at least he's kept the speed substats. Like, this helm is pretty rough, not very good. He's got a couple 6-star boots here, which is really nice. Let's see, this is the fastest shield on his count. Not the greatest, right? Not the greatest. 6-star here. Okay, and lastly, just to get a more general sense of where his gear is at, we just do a speed, kind of like a speed test on his Arbiter. 371 is the fastest Arbiter he can have. I just use Arbiter just because it's the most commonly referred to speed champion, most likely. So yeah, it just gives you an idea of where his gear level is at overall. And that kind of gives you an idea of what kind of gear you can salvage without being, without being too aggressive. Like, if he doesn't have great gear, then maybe like a piece like, like a 15 glove could be really, really important. Or, I mean, if a bad piece maybe has like a 6-star, 6-speed helm, it could be really important to him if he had like really, really low speed champions. But a 371 Arbiter, he's comfortably in the mid game in terms of gear. So I feel generally pretty good about getting rid of like 5-star pieces, especially with no speed substats, for example. And just looking over some of these pieces, they are kind of bad, to be honest. So even though he has a 6-star helm here, this one's pretty bad. So I can feel pretty comfortable about removing these pieces instead of keeping them on, on his account. All right, so for this set, I've identified a couple pieces here that basically have direct improvements from other items. Also, 5-star pieces will be probably removed now. So I'll start doing that. Quickly sell this off. There we go. All right, a little bit of a shrink down for him. Actually, I forgot, the first thing you should probably do for any kind of gear cleanse is probably start with the bottom row and then the flat stats, of course. Let's check that out and see how much he's got. Not too much, but he's got some here, so definitely should probably remove some of these unless there's significant reasons to keep them. This one's got double speed. You could probably keep that. This glove is straight garbage. That boot, straight garbage. This one, I mean, if you roll like multiple speed rolls, then that'd be okay. This one has a single speed roll. I'm not sure what kind of gear is on this account or on this set, so we can't get rid of it yet, but probably it's going to be a sell. Swift parry, same kind of idea here, but honestly, these flat stat gloves, even with speed substat, they're just not worth using, to be honest. Not worth using. Same thing here. It's just not worth using. You could go for the quad, I guess, so we'll hold on to that going for the quad. This one he held on for the triple speed. This one, flat HP with double speed. I mean, again, I don't know this, his gear stash in this set well enough to just remove it. So maybe that's his fastest chest. Maybe, right? This one, same thing. You probably want to roll it. Even though it's kind of bad, you probably want to roll it. Just treat this set as a speed set. That's a boot, flat, flat, and flat. No thanks. This one's speed. Gotta roll it. Gotta roll it. I think even a triple on this is pretty ugly, especially for a 5-star epic. This one for a 5-star Lego, you can at least try to quad up here. So I'm just going to get rid of the 5-star epics here for him. These are flat, just no hope for these ones. Yep, you got the 6-star speed. This one, 5-star prime, 5-star mythical, no thanks. This one, probably go for the speed roll. Nope, no thanks, and no thanks. Let's see. This one, I mean, bolster, you really want HP percentage. I mean, if he's a spender, he probably has more bolster gear coming, so you definitely don't need those pieces. This one's just not a good piece to have in bolster, even though it has, you know, some offensive good stats, but probably not worth holding on to. Impulse, treat this as a speed set, so you're looking at 10 speed here. This one has 9 speed. I mean, it could be the best chest you have. Boots gotta go, unless you're thinking about Marius missions. Then you might want to keep some of these pieces just because they might be, this might be the only boot you have, right? Maybe for the Marius mission, so I won't delete that yet. Zeal, I mean, Zeal the damage set, and these are not really good damage pieces, if you know what I mean. But again, for Marius, you might want to hold on to these pieces just in case you have some other plans for them. So I'm not going to delete any of those. Supersonic, yes, treat this as a speed set. So if you got double speed here, then keep, sure. Looks like you already done that. Merciless, sure, you can roll for the speed, roll for speed, double speed, double speed. Looks like he's already done the usual stuff. But the thing is, like, you don't want too many copies of these types of pieces. Like, you already have like a 5-star 15 and then a 6-star 17. Like, that's probably all you really need for bad chests with just plain speed. So that's why I'm not going to bother holding on to this rare one. This rare one's gone. Slayer, again, this boots, you're never going to use it, so you probably just get rid of it. Barrel, you can roll that, sure. I mean, unless you really need to complete the sets, you don't need, you know, 6 chests in flat stats, right? So you want to keep maybe like the best one. But yeah, you pretty much want to keep like maybe the best copies of it. And let's see here. This one's got triple speed. Okay, that's pretty solid. And then a flat attack boot. Nah. All right, so we'll just quickly burn off the 20 pieces here. There you go. All right, so that's a quick little cleanse there, just very basic cleanse. Now, I think for this guy's account, I think we probably just want to get rid of most of the 5-star pieces. But we'll have a quick look here. Maybe 5-star rares we'll take a look at, and then isolate these ones to go first. Like, this is kind of the example that I'm looking at here. Like, we got 5 gloves here. You got double speed roll glove. You got double speed roll glove. You got double speed roll glove. Now, you don't really need 3 of these double speed roll gloves. Even, you know, you can argue you don't even need 1 of them, especially in this set, right? As a 5-star rare, it's just not super high value. Like, for example, you know, if you wanted to get really specific about it, look for 6-star, you know, double speed, 6-star glove, and then see how fast your fastest 6-star glove is. You got 22 6-star here, and then we were just talking about, you know, 5-star rares with double speed rolls. So you don't even use this glove in an off, like these are off stats in an off set, right? Crit damage with support stats, and you're not even using this glove. So why do you need 3 copies of worse versions of this glove, you know, in a bad set as well? So that's kind of like the idea you want to bring along with you, right? Also, before we do any kind of serious gear cleansing and deleting, we should probably check out his champions first to see how exactly they are geared out. So we got Lady Mikage here. Was she relentless with impulse? Seems like a reasonable build. Yeah, no ascensions, that's fine. When you got 300 speed, 373 accuracy, looks good. Looks good enough. Let's see what his Lazurius is packing. He's got relentless with impulse. Fair enough. Let's see here. Total stats, crit cap, crit damage, accuracy, 294 speed. Yep, not too bad. I mean, you know, no ignore defense or anything like that. It's got cat gaze on, which is fine. Helm smasher. I mean, he has a little bit of ignore defense with the cat's gaze. And he's crit cap, so that's pretty reasonable. Obviously you want to get this guy in You know, Stone Skin, ideally maybe with ignore defense set like Lethal or Savage. But let's check out what his gear can do with the optimizer. What do we got here? Shadow Thief. We got nice 253 speed. Got a bit of crit damage, not crit cap. Bit of accuracy, a bit of everything, and yeah, it looks reasonable as well. Yeah, not too bad there. Toshiro, 253 speed, quick cap, accuracy, low attack, no ignore defense set. I mean, no books. No books just means less damage. But let's see, masteries looks okay. Yeah, I mean, it's all reasonable, right? You got Freya here. Probably not one of his main used champions. Quick cap, accuracy, okay speed, low HP, no blessing, no books. Probably can't be used, actually, no books. Rhodos, then Relentless, crit capped, crit damage, low attack. Relentless. Relentless doesn't work with Rhodos anymore, right? Like, it was patched a long time ago. It doesn't get the stacking, the Relentless on top. So doesn't not the best. Slayer Otherion. Is this good enough to solo Spider? We can check that out. Not sure if that's what he's using right now. Let's take a quick look. Looks like he's stuck on 22 and he's using these two guys. Something we can work on, I guess. I think his gear should be able to easily do at least, you know, at least get into Hard Spider. Once he's in Hard Spider, then we can look further into optimizing. Let's check out Usuga here. He's in a bolster set, no books. Really hard to use. I liked her having her around because she was the 6-star, but without any books, it's going to be really hard. Alice, probably no books, I'm assuming. Yep, no books. Hard to be a damage dealer. She does have the instinct set. So this is the first ignore defense set we have on the account. Feyna here, 300 speed, quick capped. I mean, fully booked as well. Hard to make her work, I think, unless you have a specific team for it. Let's see, Arman's here. 352, so it's fastest champion we've seen. 443 accuracy, 3-star blessing only, fully booked. Seems reasonable. Bolster Necrit. 200 speed. Low HP. Pretty low HP here. Fully booked. With resist. Is this resistance? Oh, it's bulwark. Okay. Okay, yeah, I mean, it's not maxed out gear or anything like that. Does he have the right pieces on? Defense percent, HP percent? Yeah, I mean, seems like he knows how to gear. You got Thor here. Looks like a pretty good build. This Thor 260 speed. Yeah, I mean, this is a good build. Cat's Gaze, good. Fully booked. This guy looks good. What's Theodore rocking here? He's rocking a bolster set. 500 accuracy. Brimstone. With resistance. Is this resistance? It is, right? No need to pack resistance here, especially when you have 170 total resistance. Arbiter, 345. So we saw from the optimizer, his max Arbiter is 371. So maybe he's splitting some of the gear between the Armans and the Arbiter. In this case, Arbiter is slower than Armans, and that should not happen. That should not happen, guys. You see here, Arbiter is 345. Armans is 352. This means that in a battle, Armans would go first. Ideally, you get Arbiter to go first, and then you connect with the Armans. So, might need to change that up. Ninja. Again, very reasonable build. Necmo. Looks pretty reasonable as well. 300 speed. So we got multiple 300 speed champions. Lysandra here, 300 speed as well. And then you have a Relentless Queen of Hearts. That is interesting. That is interesting. With a pinpoint set as well. So the pinpoint set's going to protect her from getting sheep from the True Fear application. Extra turns could be interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. And instinct set on Estrid, 300 speed. No accuracy. That's interesting. Usually you want accuracy, unless I guess these are just strictly his arena champions, I guess. Okay, So it gives you kind of like idea, right? What kind of builds that he can achieve. Um, he did mention that Lazarus is his favorite champion, so he wants, kind of like the best gear on him. But I think before we even think about like PvP champions, we have to stabilize his PvE content first. And I think we'll have to look toward dungeons, gearing those dungeon teams out. Make sure he can at least farm the gear properly, and then we can move on from there. If a PvE champion can double up as a PvP champion, even better, and especially if they're in the same build, even better. So I'm just slowly slogging through some of the normal spider content right now. His account obviously is very strong enough to handle normal difficulty spider without any issues. I'm just using a super safe team, just manualing through everything. We'll be done normal spider in no time, and then we can reevaluate when we reach the hard spider. So like I said, I think the approach we want to take for his account is that since his account really needs help in basically all areas of the game, and especially with gearing out some of the champions, we just want to make sure that we are set up for dungeons first, which means we have a good base for getting gear and getting resources. And then afterwards, we can focus on, some of the other areas of the game, like, for example, the clan bosses, Hydra, and then, of course, PvE and all that stuff. Good champions on this account, but this is what we're going to do for now, just to see where we're at in terms of dungeon progression, and then we can gear accordingly. So we'll see you guys back at the hard stage spider. All right, so we made it to stage 4 here, and we have our first real bottleneck that we have identified on this account in terms of this dungeon. We went through normal difficulty spider 21 to 25 without too many issues, and then we made it to stage 4. We got a little bit of difficulty here, so this might be a situation where we need to start regearing our team. So right now we're running Otherion with 4 food, so basically he can do stages 1 to 3 with this setup without any changes right now, but it looks like we're going to need some changes here. I'm going to try to run this one time with, I think, Necrit, and see if we can get through this stage before we start having to do any serious regear. I'll show you guys how this team works. Basically, Otherion is strong enough to solo this stage with food on, but he doesn't have a specific build on. Right now, the build that he had on previously is perfectly usable for the stage. It's a 6-piece Slayer set, works perfectly fine. Let's see if we can get through this. It's Force Affinity, which is a bit of a problem for Otherion because he's Magic Affinity. You can kind of see that he takes a lot of hits to do anything. So he's definitely lacking in the damage department. I can tell right now that he's not going to make it. So we're going to have to do a little bit of a regear just to get him up to speed. And then, yeah, we'll go from there. All right, I think we're going to be okay with this. There we go. We got it done. 1 minute here. Stage 4, Force Affinities. It's just tough. I did switch up his build slightly. And I had to change up his masteries. Hopefully it's going to be smooth sailing here for at least a couple levels, but looking pretty good. Yeah, so he's being a bit of a spender. He does have, a little bit of Slayer gear, not too crazy in terms of overall quality, but he had a little bit to choose from, which was nice. And this is going to be helpful, right? So now that he can farm higher levels of spider, you can get better quality accessories. And we already identified that in his accessory stash, it's actually very, very low. He only had about 600 slots. Most of the accessories are not rolled up. So this should handle some of his silver issues. Obviously, we still need to do a thorough cleanse on his account because he's still rocking a lot of 5-star gear, a lot of redundant gear that he definitely doesn't need. We could probably cut his existing gear stash in half without too much issues. Right now he's sitting at about 1,300 pieces. And yeah, we'll just see where his dungeon bottlenecks are, and then we'll work on some of the gear cleansing part. So we'll slowly start climbing here for the spider and see how high we can get without any further issues. His stats are not the best on this Otherion, so I feel like he'll probably run into some issues before hard 10. I think hard 10 might be too difficult for him. But I think he's close. So let's see. We'll let this run for a little bit, and yeah, we'll see where we get stuck next. All right, we managed to get through the Force Affinity stage. We are on stage 9 now. Let's see how we can do. Maybe we'll reach stage 10 without too many changes so far. And we would have made just massive progression on this guy's account. Basically going from normal 21 all the way to hard 8 so far, hard 9. We are on hard 9 right now, but we are positive affinity. So this one looks like it should be in the bag. The growing HP here after he kills an enemy, which is really, really nice for Otherion. Probably should use a little bit of healing. I could have put Life Drinker on him, but I decided to opt for more damage, especially since the build was a little bit on the weak side. Seems to be okay, about sub 1 minute. Yep, looks like it's okay. Sub 1 minute here. And we're going to get the job done, heading on to stage 10. This should be it. Boom. There we go. Stage 10. Here we go. 58 seconds on stage 9 with 4 food, by the way. That's going to help him out huge. Let's see what we can do on stage 10. Can we grab 2 more food? All right, there we go. Let's see if we can do stage 10 here. If not, we probably have to go back to the drawing board a little bit. Maybe update the build. All right, looks like we got 1 shot here. So we do need to at least be able to survive this bit or go first and try to land decrease attack. All right, let's try that again. This time we will go first. The spider is 245 speed at hard 10. We were just under 245, so we will go first. Let's see if we can land decrease attack here. We do, and we survive. Is this enough? Is this enough? Let's see here. The build is pretty optimized to have dead allies as well, so having the food champions here is really important. It boosts our speed, boosts our damage. Let's see if we can get the kills here and boost our HP. We do. And yeah, looks like it's going to be singing now. Let's see. Let's see it go. Yep, looks pretty good. It's on the edge a little bit. I'm not 100% sure that this thing is... Yeah, it's on the edge a little bit here. So it's not super ideal, but on stage 9, it should be a very comfortable farm. On stage 10, Otherion needs to have a little bit more survivability, but we got it done. So we got it done here in this case. I think a big crit can probably take us out. And obviously, if we don't land a decreased attack right away, then he's probably dead on the first hit. So that's not ideal, right? That's not ideal. This ring might actually be useful for him. I don't know, but it's not ideal. I don't think it's a stage 10 worthy build just because he doesn't have the survivability. I'll show you guys the build here real quick that I have for him. I only really changed around 2 or 3 pieces, basically giving him a proper crit damage amulet. I think the way you could maybe make this slightly better is use like counterattack accessories. That could help a little bit. His A1 counterattack boosts his turn meter. A little bit more accuracy could be helpful. 288 kind of on the edge, especially with the masteries. It kind of helps a little bit. So charge focus and the swarm smiter is pretty good. We do have some additional boosts here in terms of speed when his food dies. So boosted speed, boosted damage. You could take Life Drinker as well. Life Drinker can give you a little bit of HP back. He's running the Talon, which is perfectly fine. That's a little bit of RNG as well. But I think ultimately you're either looking for probably a little bit more defense and a little bit more HP just to be able to survive. These are pretty minimum stats. And this doesn't really take any gear off of his existing champions, which is something that he wanted to do. But I mean, if you can farm, Hard Spider, even Hard Spider 9 with some food, you're good to go. At least in terms of silver, good to go. So I would say this dungeon's pretty much maxed out, good to go. And I would say Otherion's build, we can just leave it as is for now. And it would be totally serviceable in places like Hydra, for example. It's still usable there as well. Good speed, good accuracy, and decent amount of crit damage. Let's take a look at his other dungeons as well. So the next place I want to take a look at is probably Dragon. So he's stuck on Dragon 3, Stage 3 hard. 6 minutes here is not, these are not proper farm teams. What is he running here? He's running Theodore. Theodore in moderate build can do up to hard 8. You can do up to hard 8 with food. But you need a pretty optimized build for it. He's on the bad stage here, the Force Affinity stage. Actually, this is good affinity for Theodore. So we have to take a look at Theodore's build here. What is he running? He's running a bolster set with not enough resistance to solo. I mean, decent amount of HP, not enough resistance to solo, basically. And what is he rocking for mastery? Because he lacks the resistance, he's going for unshakable. I mean, this type of build you totally have to completely redo. isn't going to work because you don't want the shield initially, and you're looking for regeneration gear. You definitely don't want the shield because that keeps your food alive, and usually you run masteries to benefit off of dead food like Spirit Haste. So yeah, this build needs a total rework here if you want to do any kind of solo content. Just looking around, see what else he's got. He has Artak. Artak has the regen gear. He's going to struggle the same way in any kind of solo setting because he doesn't have resistance. But Artak's not going to be the champion here for Dragon anyways. It's going to have to be somebody like Theodore or a team composition instead. We have to take a quick look at what kind of regen gear he has and see if we can actually even make a champion capable of solo farming hard mode Dragon. Take a quick look here at his regen gear. Let's try to theoretically gear Theodore and see what the optimizer can spit out for us. All right, since we can't solo the boss or solo this stage with Theodore yet, we made a team just to get us to the boss to see if the Theodore can do the boss here with just poisons. We do have Artak here as well in a regen set to maybe help out. And of course we have, you know, kind of a slap together team here to see if it can work. Aetherion here with the max HP hits maybe can do it. We are up against Force Affinity here, so it's a little bit of a tough matchup for most of the champions on this roster. Actually, most of them are magic. Let's see what happens here. The Leech actually helps out quite a bit. We're actually doing all right. Theodore does have a bolster set with 10% heals. He's reasonably quick. We do have a little bit of healing here, like I said, from the Leech and from Estrid's passive. Bunch of turn meter stuff, so that gives some nice healing there from her passive. And so far we're doing okay. So, I mean, at least we can do stage 4, but with the full team. Obviously not ideal. But these are not optimized champions. None of the builds have been changed. I just want to see the limits of this. I just want to see the dungeon limits of the champions on this roster before we do any kind of serious regearing. And I think that's going to be the approach we take. We test the limits of the dungeons, make the team comps that kind of work so that at least you can farm them. If they're not fast, you can do them overnight. And then we'll flesh out some new builds. And then we'll build them out. And of course, we'll cleanse off whatever excess gear he has. Here we go. 3-minute clear on stage 4. We can keep moving on. And then it's just going to get easier until we reach the next Force stage. I don't think he has a build for Theodore that's going to work. Because Theodore ideally needs resistance. And ideally some better stats. Because his regen gear is definitely lacking a little bit. But let's see how high we can push before we start making that decision on Dragon here. All right, a pretty comfortable stage 6 clear with this squad here. Let's see if we can go further up hard Dragon here. All right, here we go against stage 7, the boss. It's Magic Affinity here. It's a little bit weak for Theodore. Let's see if he can get through this stage. Theodore is not in a proper regeneration set. He's in a bolster set, so he gets a little bit less healing. But the shield is actually kind of helpful, especially in the beginning, since most of these champions are very, very squishy. But yeah, we got some pretty good boss killers here with Ninja, Aetherion, and Theodore. And looks like we can get the job done here on stage 7. Now, stage 8 is going to be really, really difficult because it is Theodore's positive affinity. But like I said, the roster is full of magic champions. It's going to be quite difficult. So stage 8 is the Force affinity here. Let's see how we perform in this stage. All right, let's do it. We're at the boss on hard 8. Let's see if Theodore can actually do this. We do have a little bit of a squad here to help him out. We do have the HP burns from Ninja. Could chop off a little bit of damage. There goes Thor. There goes Aetherion. Aetherion is a big, big help here against the boss. We just beat out the boss's big breath timer here. Let's see if we can get the job done. Turn meter boost from Necmo is going to be very important. He is positive affinity here. Let's see if we can get the job done here. I don't know if it's going to be possible. It's going to be pretty close. And lastly, oh my goodness, it's going to be close. And he got it done. Oh my goodness. The problem is this is not going to be 100% consistent. We actually were able to finish off stage 8. I think with this squad here, stage 6 or 7 looks very, very solid. We're going to have to do some fine tuning here, but definitely a minute 45 is way better than 6 minutes on stage 3. Let's see if we can clear stage 9 with the same squad. It is good affinity for most of the team, and maybe we can even try hard 10. Let's jump into it and see where we go. All right, at the boss here on hard 9. Got through the waves pretty quick here. We are positive affinity or neutral affinity against this spirit affinity here. So let's see how we do. Should be a better time than hard 8. If we can get through here and reach the void boss on hard 10, maybe it's possible to have a farming team here. He doesn't have any seers or anything like that, so we don't have enough to make seer teams. And he doesn't have enough regeneration set to make a proper solo champion. He also needs perhaps some solo gear to do ice golem as well, so we have to consider that as well in terms of what to build and what not to build. So you know, a regen Artak is probably needed, and if he can only build one champion, the Artak is probably most important if he wants to deal with ice golem. And there we go, a minute 41 on stage 9. We were getting a little bit low there, so maybe hard 10 might not be possible, but we'll give it a shot right now. All right, same squad here, stage 10. Let's go. Let's see what this team can do. We'll watch the entire fight in its entirety. Like I said, guys, we're just testing the limits of his dungeons with his current roster. Very, very minor tweaks. Just, you know, optimize it a little bit, but not full-blown gear, you know, not full-blown regearing, not full-blown team comps and stuff like that. I just know what kind of works and what he kind of needs. And as soon as he gets into like a good farming state at the highest dungeon levels, then we know that the gear can start flowing in, right? And he can replace the gear that we'll eventually have to cleanse off from this account. I noticed that his account is really lacking a decreased defense champion. I mean, we could throw an Ugo in here to make the waves faster, but honestly, it's going to be the dragon that gives us the most problems. Thor is huge here. He offers the stuns, which is awesome. Aetherion, great champion. He does the AoE damage plus the max HP hits against the boss, which is really helpful. And obviously we have Theodore here with the poisons to speed up dragon kill. Necmo's here for leech, which is great, keeps everybody alive just a couple ticks longer. Decreased attacks also really good against the dragon. And yeah, turn meter boost is great because our Theodore is running resistance aura without proper resistance. So extra turn meter is going to be good. Give him more turns, give him more poisons and more explodes, poison explodes and all that. So let's see how we do here. We do have the increased attack on for the dragon. He hasn't been able to blow at us yet, so that's the big thing. And here we go. Oh, not strong enough. Everybody gets wiped off with one hit with the increased attack. I think this is probably a clear sometimes if we get the block buffs out with Aetherion right away before the increased attack lands on the boss, because he just one swiped the whole team. So I think this is a clear. We can try again and I'll meet you guys back at the boss. All right, guys, we are back at the boss. This time, hopefully we can land decreased attack with the block buffs here so he doesn't get the increased attack on him. And hopefully we can get the job done here. There we go. We landed the block buffs with the decreased attack. Is this going to be enough this time? I think we're going to get him this time. But like I said, this is not going to be a 100% farm team. I just want to make sure that we can get it on this run here. Here comes the decreased attack coming in. Yep, we got it. And then we got the decreased defense too from Ninja. Very nice. Going to speed up the run here a little bit. Oh man, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. Oh man, it's going to be close. Usually Aetherion probably would have got blown away there with if he had increased attack. Can we get it? Can we get there? Theodore's dying. Everybody's dying. Oh my goodness, everybody's dying. It's close. It's super close. And you know what? We'll leave it at that. I think it's a pretty successful video here. We made it to hard 10 spider and made it to hard 10 dragon. Just need to clear it. We're on the edge of it. Very close. But anyways, guys, that's going to be it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We're going to be following Blumpkin's account for a couple videos here. We're going to work on it. We're going to work on a lot of different areas. And hopefully you guys can kind of see how I go about taking over a full account takeover and what my thinking and process is for everything. Obviously, everybody's account's going to be a little bit different. And you can kind of see that Blumpkin is kind of have a pretty casual account. He doesn't really do too much farming or any of the super sweaty stuff. He's not swimming in gear, but he has some good champions and he can definitely make way more progress in his account than what he's already made so far, as you can clearly see from this video. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this. Hopefully, we'll see you again in the next video for Blumpkin's account takeover, as I like to keep it maybe like a little mini series and all that. Thanks again for watching. Appreciate your time as always. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next one.